typing her in.
I gotta find a better location that doesn't have my
We're
printer.
live, girl. We're live, girl. We're live now.
All right, we're live. Hey, everybody. We love Be Live. This is so good.
Especially when I'm the one that has to do it and it's not Lynn. Oh.
So welcome, everybody. I'm Tracy, and I have my fabulous co-hosts here today, Tammy and Heather. And we have a great topic for you today. For those of you who are overwhelmed and swamped with your inbox and struggling with email, Tammy is going to lead this discussion around how can you get your inbox to zero. So I'm here to learn. I have some other email tips I may share, but getting my inbox to zero would be a triumphant moment for me. So
that means that in the beginning you're going to have to spend at least an hour just to.
I'm thinking a day,
up, right, to start. So for me personally, I have 4 emails that I manage for myself. So organization is huge for me, and for those that know me, I'm pretty structured anyways. So right off the bat, the very first thing I do, besides logging into Facebook when I wake up, is go through my emails. It's the very first thing I do, because if I do them first thing in the morning, there's not a lot there, and I can quickly get through them and see what I need to deal with. And then I will check them again throughout the day randomly, but will only answer the ones that I need to answer right away. In most cases, it can wait till the following morning. So a couple of tips that I can give you guys. I did write down some notes. The very first tip I'm going to give you, which I absolutely love, and we just lost Heather. We just lost Heather. So we're not sure what happened there. Maybe her internet. I know she's been having trouble with her internet this morning. So this one is one of my favorite tips that I can offer you guys. There is a website called unroll.me. So unroll.me. What this does when you sign up for it, and it is free, when you sign up for it, what they will do, and I see Heather's coming on again, so I'm just going to add her in. Okay, so she gets back on with us. There she is. She's back. We lost you.
Technology is wonderful until it goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So what unroll.me does for you is, and I think it's monthly that they do this, but they will send you an email that has a link sitting in it. And when you go to the link, it will list all of the emails that they believe are promotional, spam, those kind of types of emails. And they put it all in one list. And literally all you have to do is click the button that says unroll me, unroll me, unroll me, unroll me. And it will automatically unsubscribe you from any of those emails that you've been receiving. Phenomenal feature or phenomenal tool to use at least right away, guys, to start cleaning up your emails. Okay, that'll just, for anything moving forward, it will help you clean up. You're still going to have to go back and clean up your existing emails. Okay, so that, out of everything I'm going to tell you today, that's probably one of the best tips I could give you, is to utilize that specific website. Now, the reason
I do use that.
Do you use it as well?
Great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's great. And actually, it's once a week that they.
Is it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's once a week and it'll pop up, and it's excellent because it's literally just like you said, a matter of just going through and clicking to be unrolled. Sometimes when you're doing a paid version of it, you do have the option to put it in another folder, but that goes into a little bit more details. But yeah, it's a great tool.
Yeah. I think most of us, if we get on top of the emails, then we don't need to go into a paid version, right? We can just rely on the free version to clean up those emails that we really don't want to get anymore. You know, when you sign up.
I have a junk folder. I have a junk email address that I just, if I subscribe to anything, it goes to a Gmail account, and then I can just peruse at my leisure or not.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, my original email that I started with a very long time ago has become that email for me.
Yeah, mine as well.
But what the problem is that we don't end up doing anything with it. We just let it get bogged down. And there could have been something in it that maybe you did want to know about that sale or special that's going on. So I still make it part of my morning routine to go through and clean out. And because I do that, I did the unroll just to get myself caught up. I actually don't use unroll anymore because I check it every single day and clean it out. So what I like to suggest, there's a couple of things that you can do that can help you be a little bit more organized in your emails so that you can get through them, okay? And it depends on which platform you're using or provider, whether it's Gmail, Hotmail, something that's linked to your website, Rogers, whatever it might be. What you want to do is you're going to go into Google and you're going to type the question, how to color code my emails addresses. And what this means is you can do two things you can look for, color coding and priority. So what this does, if you have regular emails that come in from a certain source that you want to make sure you don't miss out on them or whatever, you can actually color code or prioritize, both options are available, those specific emails. So what happens is when you quickly open up your email addresses, you'll have all these colors associated with very specific emails, and those will draw your attention right away. Okay, so I recommend getting into that routine. Again, something I don't do just because I'm too organized as it is, because I'm a little anal here. But you want to take advantage of that option. And at the same time, what ties in with that, you can also create inbox folders. And Google this again. You can have certain emails going into certain folders. So let's say social media, let's say marketing. And it would be a process for you to do, but you would go through and you can set it up that when certain keywords, in essence, I believe that's how it works, keywords are shown in a subject, it will or coming from a certain person, it will automatically go into the folders that you designate for those people. Now, here's the downfall with that. That is still putting you in a situation where you potentially will end up ignoring those folders. So you have to decide how you're going to be structured. If you're going to use any of these tools, how will you structure yourself to get through them, right? I don't use any of them because I, no matter what, check my emails every single day. And I will talk about what I actually do so that I keep on top of things. But I didn't know if you ladies had any thoughts on doing the color coding, the priority, the folders. I don't know if it's something you've ever looked into doing.
I in corporate. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go.
I used to do it in corporate for sure, and I haven't set it up now, but I can think of a couple that I would do because I get a lot of e-invoices and I also get a lot of e-transfers. So I don't want to delete those. I don't want an empty inbox for that reason, because I go back monthly and I just make sure I'm reconciling everything and I have copies of everything. But it would be smart for me to get them to fire into an invoice and a Interact folder, because I don't need to look at them really until I need to look at them.
And as a side note on that, do you have your e-transfers automatically set up to go into your bank account for you, auto deposit?
I don't, because I get e-transfers that are personal and I get some that are business, and it doesn't differentiate. So I put them in. It also makes sure that I process their invoice as paid because most of my stuff gets paid online. Yes. But if I do get an e-transfer, I have to manually update their invoice to make sure they get a paid invoice back. So
yeah, I do it that way because you still get an email when the auto deposit happens.
Right.
So then I leave that email sitting in my inbox until I update my financial spreadsheets.
Right. Yeah.
Then I will remove it, because otherwise I won't know who's paid me or not, right? So that's ultimately what I do. I do leave it sitting in inbox until it's officially been updated on my spreadsheet.
Yeah, and with mine, I have certain expenses that or certain revenue that comes in that's not through DreamWinds. So
yeah,
I can't have it all going into DreamWinds.
Yeah, right. That's where having a couple of email addresses can benefit us for things like that. Heather, what were you going to say?
For me, I often use that little star feature on Gmail.
Yeah.
So Gmail, it has the star. So I'm going in, I'm checking, I'm starring the ones that I absolutely know that I need to get back to. I create my own folders through Gmail on the side. I'm actually going to look into that, Tammy, when you're saying, keywords, etc. Because for me, all the ones I star, then I transfer. So if I'm, I pay for monthly coaching, my all of that goes into it's through Bob Heilig, my Bob Heilig folder. All of the girls' dance receipts into the dance folder. I find that actually for tax time, I always create at the beginning of the year, a 2017, 2018 folder, 2019 folder. And every receipt I'm getting through pops into that box.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great because when it comes to tax time, sorry. When it comes to tax time, it's really easy to go through there and print off your receipts. I should probably print them off as I go, but I don't. But at least they're just stored in one little place.
Yeah, I do.
I've never had an inbox that was empty, because I used a system that's SaneBox, which I don't know if you're familiar with.
No.
So it's basically called it's SaneBox, and it's an email sorter for you. It's another monthly paid prescription, and it keeps what you want in your email, and then sorts the rest into boxes for you. But that does never clear that number, which bothers some people on their phone. So regardless if you're sorting, you're still going to have that 1,950 bill. And if that's not an issue for me, but for some people, they have to see that zero to take away from the overwhelm, or to keep them focused and organized, right? And in that case, you have to do what you do. You have to check it daily. You have to be deleting and going through. Otherwise, it'll bog you down.
Yeah, I actually have it set up. I have one lady who sends me, I do her newsletter. And so throughout the month, she sends me emails for different articles and so forth. So I have set her up in her own inbox. So I just gave it her name, and that way all her emails automatically go in there, and they stay in there until I use the article in her newsletter. Then I move it into her closed folder. So if he sent me, maybe 8 articles, I may not use them all in the 1 month. So I would only leave the ones in there I haven't used. So that I found has really worked well, but it's also a habit of having to make sure to check that inbox. In essence, it's like a second inbox. I don't know if you can see, because the way I'm seeing on the screen there, but it's like a separate inbox that's sitting below your other one, and then you assign a name to it. So that works well for me to have, and that's the only one I do, where I have the separate inbox in essence for her. Now, personally, what I do is, so it's really important that you take that hour, it might even be longer than that, and just buckle down and clean up your emails. Get rid of the overwhelm, because you probably are missing things in your email that just slipped your mind because it just got further and further down in the email. So for me personally, my original email, there might be 10 emails sitting in my inbox right now. Okay, they're all cleaned up. And then my main email address, I probably have about 20 sitting in there. So basically what I do is I check it first thing in the morning. So I quickly look at the new messages and instantly delete if it's not something I'm interested in. If it has an action for me to do, so whether I'm responding to a client or so forth, I just leave it sitting there for now. If it's something that's information only to do with one of my clients, I then move it into a folder. So I'm like you, Heather. In my all my email accounts, I have set up separate folders to file everything. I'm anal about deleting emails. Any communication I have with any clients, I want to make sure I have copies of that. So I don't ever just delete those kind of emails. So every one of my clients has a folder, and I
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
every single one. And that doesn't matter whether it's my daily clients or the one-off clients, everyone gets a folder when they're working with me. So as soon as I complete that email, I've done whatever task it was to do with it, I instantly move it into that folder that's designated for them. And now it's out of my inbox. So that means that the only things sitting in my inbox are things I still must handle. Okay, so that just keeps me on my toes, right? Knowing every morning when I see what's sitting in there, I'm like, okay, Tammy, those are things you've got to get done. And I prioritize them, obviously, depending on what the email is about. I also do the same and create a folder for my taxes every single year, because we get receipts through email, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I get that email, it instantly gets into my tax 2019 folder, right? So anything I have that I feel I need to keep, everything gets a folder, no matter what. Okay, so for me, what it's allowed me to do is that when I get up in the morning, I might only have, 10 emails sitting there that I have to look at. Quickly, I take the time, go through them, and then filter them out. So now I might be down to 5. Okay, now, having said all of that, that's actually scheduled on my calendar. So that's part of my daily task list, which I'm just going to show you a quick sample. So I do, let's see if you can see this kind of, this is a daily task list, so Monday to Friday, and it has everything on it that I must do every single morning, no matter what. And I have it memorized, but I pull that out every single morning. I put it in front of me. Okay, even though I know exactly what I have to do, that keeps me focused by having the sheet in front of me. Right? It allows me to not filter away. So emails is part of that scheduled calendar or daily routine, just so I can keep on top of things. It's really important because you really don't want to miss the opportunity of a potential client contacting you. And having said that, that means you need to check your spam folders. If anyone is with Rogers, your spam folder doesn't give you a little number beside it. So it doesn't tell you that you have spam. So you have to be going into your spam folder to see that. And sometimes it's not just spam. It is legitimate emails that for whatever reason, especially things coming through MailChimp as well, that sometimes doesn't get picked up by a regular inbox, so it goes into spam. So it's really important to check your spam folders. At least with Gmail, they will put a number next to the spam folder. And they're pretty good in knowing what's spam, but I can tell you that I have one client, this has been going on for probably 5 months, where when I email her my invoice, it keeps going into her spam folder, and I'm emailing through Gmail to her Gmail. We think we finally have it fixed because she was then missing the invoices. Okay, so it's really important that you check your spam folders. Don't just assume it's only spam sitting in there.
Yeah.
Right? Any thoughts, ladies?
I think too, it's to your point, Tammy, about being diligent about when you check it. When I was, in the corporate world, it would be very overwhelming. You'd come back from meetings, you'd have 40 new emails. It was ridiculous. And you had to be really disciplined because you could spend all day on email. So I think your point about let's start the morning, spend some time clearing our email, and then maybe you have one other checkpoint during the day, but don't be on your email all day. It'll make you crazy. And then it gets really challenging. I, like you, have trouble deleting emails because I want it as a reference. So for me, my task will be creating those folders to get them out of the inbox. But as it is right now, I just do a single search and it's a beautiful thing. Oh. Everything's there.
And you know what? Even in the folders, I will still just do a search instead of, because you can imagine the number of folders I have.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. So I'll still just type in the search engine to find that communication. But sometimes it's just easier to click on the folder if you're looking for a very specific email, right? you know, whatever information it is. Sometimes just going to the folder is a lot easier. And I even tell my students at the college, don't ever delete any emails that you communicate with me. I said, you never know when you'll need that communication to prove something, whatever it might be. So you really have to decide, what do I need to keep? And if it's clients of yours, I believe that no matter what it is, you keep it.
Yeah.
Right? You never know when you're going to need it.
Well, it's always great in those instances to have a paper trail, this email trail, you know, things. I mean, I've been duped before and thought, oh, no, I have the information to prove it. And then I don't, because I deleted it. And then you're like,
you know, that brings up a valid point because of our Canadian laws, right? When it comes to spam. So people have to understand that you can't just email anyone and try to sell to them. That goes against our Canadian law. So when you add anyone onto your email distribution, you need to have some type of documentation. Now, if they signed up through a online sign up platform, that's not the issue. But for example, I was doing an event this weekend and it had a couple people enter a contest I was running, and I specifically had on there, do I have your permission to email you? And now I will keep those two little forms, okay, so that if anyone ever came back to me, I have evidence that they signed up for it. So the same applies. If someone signs up where maybe you were communicating with them through email, and in one of those 10 emails, they specified that, yes, they would be interested in getting your monthly newsletter, you better save that email.
Yeah.
Right? Because if anyone ever comes after you, you have proof that they signed up for something. So don't delete those kind of emails. Emails that's gonna cover your butt. You need to make sure you're saving. And so that's where the folders will help. You definitely don't want to have that. And you could create a folder that says signups, right? Sign up approvals, something like that, and drop them all in there. So it's one location to look for.
The trick is finding it when you need it, but I do keep all mine as well.
Yeah, I know, right? Because really, and again, you could search by keywords. So maybe what you do is think about your communication in your emails and use certain keywords that will make the search engine a lot easier for you to find those emails moving down the road. Because I can just imagine the size of the emails, like how many emails that we have sent back and forth, right? So to have to sift through them all would be a struggle.
Another tip I have just before, because I know we're running out of time, is when you go into your email and you set that time up, make sure you're setting that time up so that you have time to action things. One of the tips I got years ago is like touch your email once and address it, answer it right away. Don't, kind of back burner it. And I struggle with that still. But I do find if I don't address it right away, it does have the risk of getting lost. It does have the risk of being delayed. So if you can schedule that time and say, okay, have that mantra in your mind that you're going to touch your email once and address it, it'll help you stay on top of the stuff that's really most important.
And that's what I do first thing as I'm going through them. I do answer the ones that I can immediately answer, where I go, yeah, I know the answer here, send it off. And then I will actually then move it into its folder.
Yeah.
Even if that person's going to reply back to me.
Yeah.
Okay. It'll just come back into my inbox and then I move it back in. So it'll just keep going, but it'll get out of my inbox because honestly, I don't want anything in there, right, that is going to bog me down. So I'm just anal about it. I have to keep on top of them. And again, I will check throughout the day, but most of them will stay in there until I can answer, till I give myself time to answer them. You have to schedule that time. So hopefully you guys got some tips for today to clean up that email inbox, because it can be very overwhelming, guys, and you really don't want to miss any potential clients trying to reach out to you. If you have any questions, by all means, just comment on our live. Sorry, we did have a bunch of comments and we did not pay any attention to that today. That's because Tammy was talking. I was too busy talking. Okay. And please, I will get this uploaded on our business page on Wednesday. So you're more than welcome to share this out. It will be on our YouTube channel. All right. Any last thoughts, ladies?
No, thank you for joining us, everybody. Have a
Awesome. Okay, have a great day, guys.
Okay.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.